Hey guys, and welcome back to another Cultured Boys discussion. I'm Pepe, and I'm joined by Nathan. And this week, we're talking about One Piece.
Oy.
Yay! And more specifically, I feel like we talk about One Piece quite a lot on this channel. There's probably a lot of episodes talking about it. But this week, Nathan has, I'm going to say, conquered his burnout or gotten over it for the episode, and we're going to be talking about the current chapters of One Piece that are in Jump right now as time recording, which I believe is 1119.
Yes, that is the
Yes.
most recent chapter. And before we get any further, spoilers. I cannot say it enough. Spoilers ahead. So if you are not up to date with the manga or even the anime,
It's
don't.
manga spoilers. Spoilers for Egghead, everything. Like,
Yes.
it's just like, we're just that blanket statement right now. There's gonna be spoilers ahead.
Yes.
But Nathan, like, when was the last time you read the One Piece manga, Nathan?
I want to say about a year ago, give or take. When I checked, it was the last chapter I had read was 1087.
To be fair, that's not like too far off. It's like, so you missed a year. You've been a year out of One Piece.
Yeah, but because like they also, One Piece has gone on break a few times, so like
Yeah, it
I
has,
wasn't
yeah.
actually as far behind as I thought I was.
No, that's one thing. Like, Oda does take like regular breaks. It's probably like one every 2-3 chapters, I'd say. He takes it, which is understandable considering. I mean, man needs to look after his health. I think he definitely said it after the Akira Toriyama
I was gonna
passing
say
as well.
honestly, with the amount of legends we are losing right now in the manga
Yeah.
world, yeah, take care of yourself.
Yeah, I think that's it, like Oda even said that like it hit him, like especially since like him and Toriyama like knew each other really well as well.
Yeah,
So
it makes
yeah,
sense. It makes sense.
and obviously seeing that like Oda takes a lot of breaks, and rightfully so. I think there must be breaks, like just in terms of like health reasons, and probably like to get the story right as well. Make sure he's actually hitting those story points like well enough, I'd say.
Probably. I mean,
Mm,
you know, again, as long as he's dude staying healthy,
mm,
like
that's it. Yeah.
we we don't want to get this far and be like, oh God, it didn't end.
Mm. I mean, this is one thing as well. One Piece, Oda's been doing this pretty much consistently, minus a few hiatuses here and there. Like, he's been doing this consistently since 1999.
Yeah,
Like, so it's like 25, 24 years he's been doing this now. And it's like, bro is, yeah, he deserves those breaks. And I think you are seeing this come through a lot more in recent chapters as well, where there's actually only 13 pages per
I had,
chapter. And
I hadn't noticed that, but I suppose I wouldn't ever really notice something like that when you're just sitting there like
mm,
bulk reading.
yeah, especially I think it's more the last couple chapters have been the 13-pager ones. And I remember like going on like certain One Piece subreddits and stuff like that, and people are like, "Oh my god, Oda's only doing 13 pages. Is he okay? Is he okay?" And I'm like, man, if he doesn't need to do the full 19 pages, he doesn't need to do the full 19
Yeah.
pages. The art's still good, the story's still going. Like, maybe he just who knows exactly what those reasons are. Maybe he just needs more time or whatever. Like,
Mm,
it ain't a big. But we're here again to talk about the story of Nathan catching up on One Piece, the 40 chapters he's
yep.
missed out on.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
um
Yep. Yep.
like, how are you finding it all, Nathan, One Piece wise? Like, you like, would you say it's like worth catching up on? Is the like question there.
Personally, yes, but there's the bias of I I'm already a fan of One Piece.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like to say that, I mean, I'm pretty much always going to say yes. Um I will say it where I left off to
Mhm.
jump back in after so long was a little overwhelming because I was like, "Oh shit, I forgot like there was a lot of stuff going on right as I stopped." And I was like, "Oh shit, I had to try and remember everything that happened cuz where I picked up again, it's right after CP0 comes in,
Oh wow.
and the Seraphims they've just literally just finished dealing with the Seraphims. So like it's like things are starting to settle down just slightly, but more
Yeah,
shit
yeah.
is happening now, and I'm like, oh yeah, who is that again? Who is this again? Why are they here? Why is
Of
that going on?
course.
Who's fighting
Yeah,
who?
yeah.
Where is everyone in relation to everyone else on Egghead? It was a lot. It was a lot. And
Yeah.
at some point I just sort of had to go, right, I'm not going back to read for context.
Mhm.
So I'm just going to push on and whatever happens, happens.
So, like, when you say like they just finished dealing with the Seraphims, was it the bit where it's like CP0 and Luffy and Zoro have teamed up and they're fighting those ones, or is it little bit? Is it just after
Just after that.
or
So like they've had the
just after?
fights and the Seraphims are now in them bubbles.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, funny enough, like where you're at in the manga is pretty much just ahead of where the anime is.
Ah.
So that's even madder to me because that means there's only 40 chapters between the anime and the manga, which is like really like whoa, that it's really cutting it
Oof.
close. Which
Yeah.
and that's the one thing I know that like with the anime especially they've been taking a few episodes here and there to do like recap ones because usually like apart from those filler episodes the pacing has been really good in the anime so far. It
Mhm.
dipped a little bit like like maybe about 300 episodes or so ago, but the pacing really picked up and it started getting better. um but like with only 40 chapters to spare that is a little bit like whoa.
Well, I
I
feel
know
like
they
you say with 40 chapters though, but considering what the large bulk of that was,
Mhm.
I feel like they could slow it down a little bit. Maybe a couple of fillers. I hate to use the word, but you know.
Yeah. They still got like certain fights to go through that they haven't shown in the anime yet because they've shown half of the Blackbeard and Law fight. They've shown half of the kid and no, I say half of the kid and Shanks fight because it's barely a fight.
Yeah.
I mean, Shanks just one shots him basically.
Yeah.
And then they haven't shown like the Garp Aokiji fight at all, basically.
Okay. So, oh, right. So, I mean, there is stuff. There
There's
is
still
stuff
stuff,
there.
and plus all the Sabo stuff as well, where like he infiltrates Marie Joie and all that as well. They haven't shown that yet
Oh,
either.
they haven't shown any of
So
that either. Dang.
nah, no. So there's still a lot of those side stories to go through. I guess
I
there's a
was
lot of
gonna say
that.
because,
So
like, even within the 40 chapters, like the large bulk of what I read was
mhm.
like Kuma's backstory,
Oh man,
and
okay,
that's
yeah,
why I was saying like you could, at least for the anime, they could slow down around there
that's true. Yeah.
because there's like, it jumps around a whole lot in
Hmm.
the manga, but like, you could take an episode or two here to randomly extend one adventure here, an adventure there, a thing here, a thing there.
I
But
think they're doing
yeah,
well to like kind of space out as well as they can do with it. Like I think the Kuma backstory, like you said, there's still a lot you can do there. As I said, there is a lot. Like if you spend about 2-3 episodes on like Aokiji and Garp, maybe, um, and then do like a fair few episodes on Kuma's backstory. Like
see, that's everything you mentioned is just stuff I also forgot. Like, I jump in and they're like, it's Garp and Aokiji fighting on Pirate Island, and
yeah,
there's Kobe and the rest of them are there, and I'm like, I don't remember what was happening, but they're here.
yeah. So
Cool.
recap on that. Basically, Kobe intercepted Blackbeard's fight with Hancock
Hmm.
because Blackbeard was about to, well, he was attempting to steal Hancock's power. Then Rayleigh stepped in, but Kobe got captured. And then Garp was like, "I'm gonna save Kobe," and then he went and saved Kobe, and also got captured and captured in the
Okay.
process of it. So basically,
Okay.
like sacrificed
So
himself,
that
which
that was
like
that. Because I all I read was the fallout of all of that, where
yeah,
it's like, Pico's hand, And they're like, "Oh, you got
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna destroy the ship. What we gonna do?" And Garp's like, "You three are gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you an opening, and then you guys are gonna do it." And they were like, "What do
Yeah.
you mean?" And he's like, it's your turn."
He's like passing down to the next
Yeah,
generation,
basically,
basically.
he's
It's like
passing the
that kind
torch,
of
and he's
shit.
like, "It's your
Yeah.
turn." And then he makes the
That's when.
opening, and that's when you're like,
Yeah.
find out Kobe's actually like been holding back the whole time. He's way stronger than he
Yeah.
lets on, and everyone's like, "You dick! You've been holding back."
I mean, like one of the like biggest like feats ever, I feel like, is Kobe's like one glow up from the
Yeah.
first episode, amazing, and two, like somehow he's become this strong, which is insane. Like
Well,
he's had some
also
bad
like
power up, like
he needs it, right? Because
yeah,
he's been shown like the marine that holds the same values as Luffy, and Luffy is the pirate that holds the same values,
hmm
right? At some point, there's probably gonna come down to the we're still friends and I still respect you, but we're on different sides of the law and we have to fight.
yeah,
And
exactly.
and Luffy's now had this like, he's Joy Boy, Sun God Nika, like he's
Yeah.
up there now, and
He's like, yeah. You
and
gotta have
Kobe,
Kobe on some
yeah,
sort of same level, yeah.
like you know, as I always do, I comparing to other things I know. Out
Mhm.
here, you got you got Luffy in his fucking Ultra Instinct. Now you gotta have Kobe be his Ultra Ego. You know what I mean? Like you gotta have these
You gotta
equivalents.
have that rivalry. I still think that Luffy would absolutely destroy Kobe at this point, though.
Oh yeah,
It's definitely
yeah.
like he would absolutely like because like Luffy is literally like one of the strongest characters in One Piece with a lot of still unlocked potential, I feel. Because we still got Gear 5, which feels like it hasn't been shown off completely yet. And I
Mm.
feel like there's a step we can still go with it. Like, I feel like there's like, don't get me wrong, I don't feel there's gonna be a Gear 6 or anything like that.
Oh
But
no,
I feel like
I feel like it's doing again an Ultra Instinct where it's like, oh, this is like the first version,
yeah.
instinct or sign, and now
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
side,
oh,
yeah.
now it's mastered.
Like Gear 5 Max or something like
Oh god, yeah. But it's
that.
honestly,
Like, but there's yeah.
it it's cool seeing Kobe do stuff. That was pretty cool, especially the reveal of like, oh, he does extra training. He does your super tough
Yeah.
training, Garp, and now he also does extra training afterwards, and even Garp, like,
Yeah.
because it's like a small flashback, and even in the flashback, Garp's like, "What are you talking about? You telling me he does? Oh my god!"
See, that sort of stuff was like that felt wait, so was that in your latest read through the Kobe Garp stuff? That was
Well, just
like in
that
your
last
in
bit,
the
just
oh
literally
just the
the
last bit.
very
Oh,
end
oh,
bit
so
of
you
it all.
probably
I read
okay,
most of
yeah,
it
yeah.
previously, and then I stopped, and that's
Right, 'cause
why
that's
I
where it
needed the
was. Yeah,
recap,
yeah,
because I was like, right, so there's Pico in his hand, and then there's
yeah.
Garp and Aokiji, and I didn't remember they were fighting, and I didn't
Yeah, yeah.
remember that Kobe got captured and
Of
everything else.
course,
I
yeah,
just
yeah.
literally dropped in, and it's like, oh my god, the hand's gonna bust up the ship. What are we gonna
Yeah,
do? And I'm like,
yeah.
okay.
Certainness.
Right? Like,
Okay.
literally everything I dropped in on again was just like no context.
Yeah,
I've forgotten everything. I wasn't gonna research. I just kept reading, but I literally just sat there like straight faced Ness, like, okay.
yeah, yeah. I get that now because I think there's I you probably like chose the most awkward place to kind of stop
Hmm.
reading it. Like you
Yeah.
probably could have just like at least like finished the garp bit
Well,
and then
the
stopped. It
funny
would have
thing
been
is like I stopped at 1087. Had I read, obviously hindsight 2020, had I read like three more chapters and ended at like 190,
yeah.
probably would have been good.
Yeah.
Some more stuff kicks off after that, around there and after, but like
Yeah,
around
yeah.
190,
Yeah.
at least the stuff I was reading would have come to an end, gotten some sort of conclusion, and then the next stuff would have started. But no, I stopped just sort of before the conclusion, and now I'm like,
Okay.
what happened? Who are these people? Who is everything of anything?
Who is Oh, so like with the Sabo infiltrating Marijuana and actually finding out the truth, was that in your
Yeah,
in the
I
chapters you read as well?
no,
Okay,
I've
so
read
that
all
was
of
all.
that previously.
Oh, so that was all
So
previously as well. Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah,
that was all previously, but I remembered all of that because that's where like the
yeah.
reveal of like Emu and the five elders and stuff.
That's the one thing because it's been like obviously been over a year since that's all happened as well. That one thing I can't remember is whereabouts those side stories took place within the chapters. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I don't, even though they've literally just shown the kid and Shanks stuff in the anime. Like, I mean, they haven't even shown him being one shot yet. Like, and that's just like Shanks saying, "Ah, if he wants to fight me, then he
yeah,
he has to leave his poneglyphs behind, like the tracings." So he
yeah,
hasn't
yeah,
even defeated him yet. So there's like that stuff hasn't even happened in the
dude.
manga,
That
in the anime yet.
in the manga, that's like so long ago. Like
Exactly,
I
yeah.
remember
It's
I
like
read that like
ages.
a year ago.
Yeah. So like there's a lot of stuff there where like, I'm trying to think like, wait, where did this happen? Like, when are we getting to this fight? When are we getting to this fight? Because in the opening, the latest opening for One Piece, they show like short like frames of all those fights as well. So
Oh,
I'm like, oh, sweet, that's gonna happen soon, right? And it's like, no, because
hmm,
they showed like there's gonna be the face offs. They like well they don't like outwardly show Shanks and Kid,
yeah.
but they show Kid fighting someone, and it's a silhouette, and it's like it's obviously Shanks from that. You pause it, and you're like, that's Shanks.
Silhouette of a one-armed man. Like, who is that?
Yeah,
Who is a one-armed
it's literally
man?
it's the red hair and the cape, and you're like, it's fucking. There's only really one character that
Oh my
kind of
god, Ace is back.
what? Oh man, just comes back with a massive hole in his
Yep.
chest. It's just like, hey guys, it's me. And then it was like, what's that whistling? Where's that coming from? It's just the air going through
Yeah.
his
Also, they're like, "Why is your hair red? And what happened to one of your arms?"
Yeah. Shit. Shit happens.
Afterlife stuff.
One of the things that like always I forget about is always the fact that like Gecko Moria was also captured by the Blackbeard pirates.
Yeah,
And so he's there somewhere on Pirate Island. What I can assume is they want to steal his powers as well, maybe.
probably.
Because I mean, resurrecting the dead, like there's some theories like, oh, they're gonna steal Moria's powers and then they're gonna resurrect Blackbeard, not Blackbeard, Whitebeard, and all these other things. It's like,
There's
whoa,
that's
yeah,
what I'm saying. Like, there's so many characters in like places that I'm like, I don't, I don't even remember reading that you were there.
yeah. There's, I mean, this isn't like the joy and in somewhat like the consequence of One Piece in the fact that they allude to so much in this world. There's so much world building in it, and you think like, whoa, this character's doing this thing, this guy. But Oda shows part of the story there, and then you won't find out until the arc's finished, like maybe what happened in that story.
Honestly, it's so good, but that was one complaint I've always not
Mhm.
always, but I had since around just before Wano. I remember telling you several times, I'm like, I kind of can't keep up. Like, I don't know what's going on because it's like
Yeah.
there's so much like there's this over here, then there's that over there. Now these group
Hmm.
of people are doing something, and then like it's trying to keep a track of all these threads that are supposed to then
Yeah.
come together. But I'm like, trust me, it's great when they all come together because I'm like, no way, oh my god. But
Yeah. Yeah.
half the time I'm like, I don't even remember where you were going. Like this group is off doing a thing, and I'm like, when were they doing that?
Yeah, it's one of those things that like if like you like a fan that kind of dips in and out of it like a lot of the time. Like you said, you'd be like, wait, what? Where's this coming from? Where's that? It's a lot to remember. You know, like when you play a JRPG. I use this
Yep.
example specifically because it relates to me so much. The fact you play a JRPG for about 3 months and then like you drop
Yep.
off, and then you'd be like, I want to play that game again. Then you start a year later, and you're like,
I don't
where are
know what.
they?
Yeah,
Where am
yeah.
I? What is this?
What
It's
happened? Because you're like
it,
halfway through the story or some shit.
yeah, because that's one thing. One Piece just keeps on going, and there's always story to tell with it. But like, if you're a fan that dips in now, that's a struggle to keep it like track of a lot of things.
It
Like,
is. It
and
really is.
especially sometimes like a story will be told in the like the start of the chapter, they always had the side stories going
Yep.
on. Sometimes that'll be going, so you have to keep track of those as well sometimes. And they
Mhm.
don't always show that in the anime either. Like the fact that like Wapol's story, for example, the fact that he became like a toy maker in a different country and end up becoming king, like that isn't shown in the main story at all. That is shown in side stories at the start of chapters. So you'd be like, wait, when the fuck did this happen? And then you're like, oh yeah, did you not read the first panels of the chapters and stuff like that? And you're like, no. See, I'm the fan that will read that kind of shit. So I will be like, oh, I'll read this. But there's a lot of people that won't, and I understand that, and
I
I can
mean,
see why that
I
becomes
read
a
it
thing.
too, but I don't commit them to memory because I'm just like, oh,
Yeah,
cool, it's like a little whatever. Because I mean, like normally you'd look at those and you'd be like, oh, it's not important. It's just like
yeah,
an illustration, right? Like an extra whatever. So that's
yeah.
how my brain treats them. I read them, but like it never occurs to me that I'm like, oh yeah, that's like more world building. Like that's more thing. I'm just like,
Mm.
okay, it's just a character doing a thing, whatever.
You never know if it's actually gonna be in the main story or not.
Right?
I'm still waiting for fucking Eneru to pop up again after he went to the fucking moon, gathered an army of like aliens, and he's just like king of the moon right now. And I'm like, is he gonna come back?
Even if he did, like, unless they give him some massive like glow up, he ain't holding shit to anybody anymore. Come on, man.
Basically he's got to come back with that Rob Lucci awakening kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like, and realistically, still, like he only lost to Luffy because of the rubber powers, which even then is that real because the Nika stuff, and obviously it's not the gum fruit, it's the whatever.
Well,
Um,
that's what I'm saying. Like, if he doesn't come back and is like, I'm now the thunder god, right?
yeah,
You're the sun god, I'm now the thunder god. If they're not fighting on
yeah,
a godly plane,
yeah,
he
yeah.
ain't doing shit. He's gonna come back, get
He-
whomped, and then you're just like, yeah, whatever, get out of here.
Yeah, like where does he fit in with the main story? Because right now, like Skypiea has so much like lore with it. There's so much backstory there. But like, where does as much as people want to see Enderu again, like who knows where he fits in with the story?
Well, like, especially because he's been gone for so long. Most of the
Yeah,
Straw Hats can probably deal with him by this point. Most of the characters could probably deal with
they
him
they
by
all
this
have.
point if he hasn't
I
gone
mean,
any stronger. Most of them have developed Haki, so like if he came back and he didn't get a power boost, he's fucked. What, he's
yeah,
gonna come and they're
yeah.
gonna stomp him, and then it's like,
They
okay,
they'd
great.
have to give him a power. I mean, it's the same argument with like Lucci at the end of the day because there's a lot of people like obviously Lucci's never gonna beat Gear 5 Luffy.
No,
Let's face it, like he's never gonna do it. But obviously he came back with a power boost and like he's got his awakening and he's like able to do a lot more shit than he was able to do back
yeah,
in Ennis Lobby. But like even with like it's the same argument for like Eneru basically. If he came back, he like sure, he'd have. I'm sure he would get power up. I'm sure they'd give him something. Plus, he's got his army of little alien people as well. But but like he would need something major, and even then, I can't see where he'd fit in the story. I'd love to see him back. Don't get me wrong, but
I
it, it,
honestly,
it,
I don't see,
it
I
doesn't
don't
fit.
know where he would come back. I
He,
don't know
he
that he
wouldn't fit
would
in,
come back.
especially where the story's at right now. Because right now they're preparing to leave Egghead and most likely going to go to Elbath because
Mhm.
that's where the story
Yeah,
feels like it's going
they
right now.
name dropped and then some giants turned up, so you're like,
Yeah.
I wonder where they're going next,
It's like if they don't go to Elbath in the next arc, that is fucking like,
right?
wait, what? All the giants are here. It makes sense to them to go to Elbath.
Plus, like
um,
Nami straight up is like, yeah, the Elbaf, that's oh, I think that's where she because there's that one panel or those pages and like Vegapunk's like, oh, Elbaf is over there, and they're
yeah,
like, oh my
yeah,
god, Elbaf, yeah,
yeah,
we've always wanted to go there.
yeah. Yeah, and it's but that's the next story point, obviously, because obviously you got the five elders going down right now as well, and
Yeah,
that's all kicking off. Like, so even if they leave Egghead, like, what is going? Like, are the five elders just going to destroy Egghead, and then the Straw Hats move on, or the elders going to go to Elbath as well? Like, because like it's one of those ones where I don't know where.
I feel like it depends on how Egghead is dealt with.
Yeah.
the fallout of that. But I feel like what's gonna happen, and this is just me personally from what I've read,
Hmm.
my comprehension of it is the giants and the straw hats are gonna go to Elbath, and
Hmm.
the five elders in are probably gonna retreat for now
Mm.
because they had this whole thing. The whole thing was planned out. They were supposed to have secured this. They've now failed, and they know now. They're like, oh shit, because
Because all the fucking secrets are like basically leaked as well
yeah.
to the like basically Vegapunk's thrown the world into turmoil at this point, and they're like, how the fuck do we
I think
deal with
the
that now?
elders are now gonna do a tactical retreat and try and do some damage control,
Yeah.
but not in a good way because world government.
Mm.
They're gonna do some
Yeah, I
shit.
mean, they'll probably like annihilate a couple more islands or something. They'll do
Yeah,
something that'd be like, yeah.
they're gonna go off and do some shit. And whilst all that's happening, stuff will happen on Elbath. Maybe
Hmm.
one or two of them will go like pursue the Straw Hats and Elbath, but honestly, I think that for now the five elders that they're gonna bounce because there's a lot of
Yeah,
shit that
yeah.
they got to take care of, and there's no way Vegapunk drops this bomb and they don't go fuck. We need to fix some of
Yeah.
this.
They're,
We
they're, they're so preoccupied on like right now, they're so preoccupied on trying to stop this communication, this
mhm.
this broadcast that which is still currently going on. They stopped it for a bit, but it's still going right now.
Oh,
So
don't get me started on a broadcast. That annoyed the
right.
fuck out of me. Of course.
Okay, so
Oh, you fucking shit.
so okay, there's two kinds of people, right? I feel I know exactly what kind of person you're falling into. It's the like the just the constant broadcast of dropping information right now, which is obviously filling out the more and more info on the world of One Piece,
Mhm,
which is like the sea levels risen, blah 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 blah. And this broadcast has been going on for like 5 chapters now, and there's like a lot of
mhm.
stuff going on. Like, and I think that's gonna be like to people, there's it's taking ages to do this. He keeps yapping, like get to the point. Or it says the people that are like, oh my god, more One Piece stuff. Like, I've what do
Okay.
you feel
I
about it? Like,
I actually like the reveal, right? I think it
yeah,
was cool. I think it needs to ramble because that's Vegapunk's
yeah.
character. The gripe I have is every time he's a anybody in One Piece is about to explain the thing about people with D in their name. It always is just like I'm like, you're coming to an end, right? Is this not the last or almost last arc? Oda, why do you keep doing why you keep blue balling me? Just
It
fucking
is
tell me
that is
already.
that is it. Everyone is so mad about the blue ball and about the everyone's, I don't think anyone expected the broadcast to actually come back either. So when it
That's
got
what
cut
makes
off, I
it
remember
worse.
the fan
Oh,
base were like, "What? They just blue balled us completely."
like if the broadcast had ended just there, right? The whole like fair enough, whatever. Okay.
Yeah,
But at least we were blue balled for a lot of it. No, we just get that one section, and then it's like sea levels rising, the world's sinking because of these enemies, the big old war or whatever. Right? We get more lore dump after that, and I'm
yeah,
just like,
yeah.
you're such a dick, man. Come on.
He like likes to keep you on your toes, like
It's the worst because it's like, oh, people with D in their names, the
yeah,
lineage of people with D in their names, and then you got like panels and panels of other characters being like, this person I know with a D in their name, that person, Luffy, like,
yeah.
and you're just like, come, tell me, just tell me already.
Aren't you so glad as well that you got to see Foxy in a panel?
Oh yeah, great, brilliant. Oh,
I love that, like, literally they're showing like every single character around the world of One Piece reacting to this. And then there's characters you be like, I never gonna see that character again. Then suddenly Foxy turns up and you're like, the fuck? Like, and then there's like that random, what was it, Gaimon, you know, the guy that was
yeah.
stuck in the treasure chest in the really early chapters. He's there, well, but he's not even watching the fucking communication. He's just there, like, I'm going, like,
Dude, it's
have a
yeah.
fun time.
Honestly, it's It's the blue balling, man. I just couldn't take it. I was actively
Yeah,
mad whilst reading it as well because I was just like,
yeah.
"Fuck, come on! You're giving us a law dump. You can't. Are you serious? Like, how important is this reveal that you are still hiding it from us right now?
Yeah.
Are you? Are you?
It's got
Ugh.
yeah, because there's a lot of stuff that I feel like bear in mind, I feel like as we go on now, like we're coming to the like realistically, we're in the final stretch of One Piece, what it feels like anyway. Like in my mind, I feel like there's gonna be like a few more arcs, maybe,
Yeah. It's
and
like
then it'll be wrapping up. Like
we're
it feels
getting
like it's getting
close, but we're still. You can feel it. It's like, oh, we're still not that close though.
No, I like this one thing because like Oda said that like Wano would be about 70-80% of the story that
Yeah.
like that be done basically. But at that point, that's the differences between storytelling and then actually writing the story itself. Because he's probably like, yeah, there's probably 20% left of the story to write, but he will explain the shit out of it as well.
Well,
So
also by
like
saying twenty
arcs
percent,
could take it. Yeah.
that in his mind that could be another 4 arcs.
Like bear in mind, like Egghead could be 2%, and it
Yeah.
like Egghead isn't as long as some arcs that we've had in One Piece either. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of stuff that's gone on, but like it's not as long as Wano, for example. It doesn't
Yeah.
feel as long as like Whole Cake. It doesn't feel as long as like I don't know, like Enies Lobby or anything. Like
Mm.
this feels like a short arc in comparison to a lot of what we got in One Piece already.
Yeah.
So like Ben, I feel like we got Elbath, and there's probably gonna be. I could not tell you where we go from Elbath, whether it's like
I
the final arc will
mean,
happen after that. There's got to be a massive flashback at some point, like
there's got
detailing
yeah.
like Joy Boy. It's got to be like
Well, also there's the other stuff. There's so many other things that need because like you can't just we can't be led to believe there's only Luffy has awakened to his
yeah,
like god fruit powers, right?
yeah,
There's other people in the world with like there's other legends, so you got to believe that at some point if the world is sinking at that rate and the government are causing it, that more people aren't going to suddenly all of a sudden have godly powers.
yeah. There's got to be. It feels like there's got to be. I mean, you got the whole like Imu thing as well,
Yeah, like
like who that is. You got at one point we will have a more detailed backstory of Joy Boy. We've got to have one, right? Also Roger as well. Like I feel like there's got to be some more stuff with him. Like because we've seen parts of it with Odin's flashback way
fucking
back in the day.
yeah, fucking that
But
too. It's like every time it's always oh, people were dating and like Roger in the One Piece, and you're like, what is Roger doing? And what is
yeah.
it? What
It feels
did he leave?
it's one of that's the one thing because obviously Roger set out the oh yeah you got to find the One Piece because he was the one that found out the world's like the
Yeah.
history basically he's the one that knows everything about it but like in the wider scheme of things now considering where One Piece started off Roger doesn't seem as big now
Mm.
as like the other characters. Like Joy Boy feels like the biggest like
What
character to me right now. He feels like even bigger scale than Roger at this point to me.
that's what's so crazy about it as well is that you're like, this man, Roger,
Yeah.
somehow did all of this, right?
Yeah.
And he also gained lots of friends who were very strong and probably helped him
Mhm.
out. But none of them are a sun god. how how did they all achieve this? That's what also confuses me is that they all look like regular pirates.
but that's one
We
thing that
don't know
it feels like
what
the
he's
regular.
got, right? We don't know
Yeah.
anything about anything. Maybe he's got some sort of power, but I don't know.
But
But
then, like, even when you see Rayleigh's flashbacks when he first met Roger, Roger was wearing the straw hat, but then he gave it to Shanks, and then Shanks had the straw hat, and also the fucking Hito Dobi, like he had that, and then
mhm.
it's like there's so much in terms of that where you're like, where the fuck did this go? Like, when, for example, I'm still so fucking confused, and the thing that annoys me the most is that I still don't know why Shanks met with the Five Elders. And like, you remember that one where
Yeah.
like he met him, he met them, and I'm like, what connection does he have with the world government that he needs to meet up with them? I know that it was like a throwaway panel years and years and years
Yeah.
ago, but it still confuses me to this day, like what his connection is, and whether like we don't know if Shanks is a bad guy or not. We don't know. Like
Well,
it was
that's because
established that he was a good
yeah.
guy,
Well, that's
but
because
like
it's
there it
another
feels
one of those characters that you just sort of get hints of him doing things, but you don't know what he's doing, why he's doing it. And
yeah.
it's just another one of those threads that you're like,
There's so
why do I
many.
have to
There's
keep
so
trying
many.
to keep a track of what he's doing because you just kind of don't know what's going on. He's just
The
lurking around,
struggle.
man.
Shanks is such a fucking enigma right now, and I'm sure this is one thing. Shanks has like an affinity with Luffy, and like that. You know, Luffy and Shanks will always be that like kind of father son thing, and
Yeah.
hopefully there's a reason why Shanks is doing this, and like there's probably certain things, but it's just like where does he fit in now? Like what is he doing and like why is he doing it? He feels like like Shanks only has one more poneglyph to find as well. Luffy has one. So right now the race is between I mean th- does Buggy have poneglyphs? I can't remember now if that's the
I
thing
don't
or not.
know, but it's buggy, so yeah, I'm gonna say
Yeah,
yes.
you know, Buggy's gonna fall upwards and somehow end up as Pirate King. Somehow. I still think he's gonna get that
I'm
title.
telling you, I just do it to like troll most of the time.
Mhm.
But I'm telling you, Buggy's gonna be king of the pirates.
He is. I completely agree with you with it because it's the rate of how things go, and at some point, whether it's a joke bit or like whether Luffy's like, actually, I got my dream ready. I don't actually care about this
Yeah,
title anymore. Like,
turns out king of the pirates doesn't mean anything. I've already achieved
yeah,
it. It's yours
yeah, because
now, clown
yeah,
man.
yeah, he's like, yeah, go on, take it. I don't get because we've seen him do this shit before. So I like immediately. I think that somehow Buggy's gonna be King of the Pirates. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but I just know my
Honestly,
feeling
now that we've
is that
said it, it probably will get to it, and king of the pirates will mean fucking nothing.
it will
And
because
that's
like
why Buggy has it. Like it totally is
yeah.
gonna do that.
Because at the end of the day, we know that like Luffy only wants to become King of the Pirates so he can achieve his dream.
Mhm.
But if he can achieve his dream without being King of the Pirates, because he's only can contemplate it like that. So it's like if he can like accomplish it, he'd be like, oh, I don't care about the title, I've got my dream already. Then you're like,
I'm not
well,
gonna lie,
is
but by this point, even at I don't know, whatever, however many percent Oda reckons it is through the story,
Mhm.
now that he has the powers of Joy Boy, feel
Yeah.
like King of the Pirates is like down here as a ranking. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
I want to be King of the Pirates to achieve my dream. I also have the powers of a god.
Yeah.
I can
There's so
defy
much this
physics. Like,
it's so hard to tell where priorities are in One Piece these days because like I think like Oda's built such a world which is so expansive and has so much history to it that you're like yeah like is the Joy Boy Nika thing like surely that's a bigger scale thing and maybe that's what the world government wants to achieve. Maybe they want that power. I don't know.
I
Maybe they
mean,
want to extinguish that power. You also have God knows what Imru's intentions are as well. It's one thing. We just know that the seas rising, the world government probably are that they want the
I
weapons.
feel like the
So
world
there's
government want control of the power because let's face it, the devil fruits always come back.
yeah,
So you can't really get rid of the power. So I feel like what they would want is to get the devil fruit, the gum
mm,
fruit, so that they're like, cool, that's that sorted, tucked away. We either give it
yeah,
to someone on our side or we just
yeah.
lock it away forever.
Which arguably they did try, didn't they? Because Shanks end up stealing
Mm,
the gum fruit from CP whatever who's who was in charge. Basically, who's who was in charge of it fucked up, and Shanks stole it from
hmm
him. And that's what that point is. And so, like, they had control of the well, they had it in their possession at one point, and then they fucked up.
Yep.
So, and then that's how Shanks got it. But I mean, that's another thing. That's another thing that needs to get like. Which is again why is Shanks in touch with the world government? This is the one thing it confuses me so much. I need to. This is the one thing about One Piece that I love and hate is that I've been a fan of it for like so many years now, like decades even. And like I love the series and I love keeping up to date with every week. But damn, it's tough to like guess where this is going when you have no idea what character's doing what. And again, it's why I kind of like I don't even do speculation on a lot of things right now, like theory videos and stuff like that. It's kind of like I don't even read them anymore because Oda's so unpredictable with where he's going in the story. I just can't be but like I can't I don't really feel like I need to speculate because I'll never get it right anyway. You know
True.
what I mean?
Very true.
That's that's my rant about
Well,
theories there. Even though we've done a theory video
yeah,
on
we
One
actually
Piece
we've
way
done a
back,
whole video about theories, but
but
um, I want I want to circle back because we did skip over a large chunk of what I read, and to me, it was like probably some of the best stuff I've read for a while.
oh yeah. Hmm.
Kuma's backstory, man.
Oh yeah, I think we were gonna say it, but like that is one of the most easily probably the best backstory in One Piece so far, I'd say. Like, it's on the same levels, like, if not slightly better than Robin's, I'd say. Like,
Yeah, oh, dude, it that got me. That whole
yeah,
backstory got me, man. It's tragic.
it is like so fucking traumatic. Like, he just had like such a fucking shit life.
And he's such a
Oh,
gentle person. He just wanted to help
yeah,
people. That's it. He was
yeah.
born to nothing, from nothing, born with a cursed blood, quote unquote, because you're the blood of the
Hmm.
Buccaneers.
Yeah.
And then, like, all he ever tried to do was the right thing.
And
Oh,
he just got like fucked over constantly. And
mm,
like, even when he was doing the best thing for Bonnie, it was like, well, okay, yeah, you can help her out, you can make sure that she survives. However, you need to turn yourself into a cyborg, and it's like the most tragic thing. And then he writes to Bonnie all the fucking time, but the world
yep.
government intercepts his letters, so
And they
she
tear
doesn't
it up
get
every
half of it.
time. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
and the most tragic part about that is that like Bonnie, a 12-year-old girl, ends up having to look into his memories to find all of this out.
yep.
Like she can't hear it from because he's like just basically like he's a cyborg and just been shut off by the world government. Like that's what's happened now. Like apart from well, so we think anyway. Like the one moment that I absolutely loved was when like Kuma just turned up at Egghead and fucking
Yeah.
just punched Saturn in the face. That was like that is peak. That is like yes, fucking go. Like I love that.
Bro, yeah, the whole thing, man, like, dude could
Yeah.
never catch a break. Ever.
Nah.
Ever. Like, I thought it was gonna have, like, a happy part, like, him and Ginny are part of the
Mhm.
Revolutionary Army. I thought they were finally gonna have a little, because like, we know Bonnie is his daughter, or at least
No, adopted,
claims
yeah, like
adopted, right? We
yeah.
don't know who the father is, but like, you think, oh, him and Ginny are at least gonna have some sort of happy resolution, right? And it's like, no, because then she gets captured, and
Mhm,
the world government are gonna sell her off to be a bride,
mhm.
and then she gets that blue
The disease, yeah.
crystals disease or whatever, and it's just like, bruh,
And then,
bruh,
like, she just dies in his arms, and then it's like and then fucking Bonnie has that same disease, and it's like everything about it is just like man sacrificed his whole life basically for and like right like he's such a fucking good person
he
that
was
you never expected this. You never expected this when you first saw
no,
Kuma. You just saw him being this guy who's like just walking around fucking Bible in hand, all that kind of thing. You never knew his intentions from the start, and now it's like this is what again what I love about One Piece is that it just builds his character out of nowhere, and you're like, fucking hell, man. Not out of nowhere, it's been building up for a while.
yeah. I
But
mean,
like,
like, that's the worst thing is that he's constantly, like, always has just carried and taken on the pain of others
yeah.
onto himself, like, truly, in what, especially in the One Piece world, right?
Hmm.
The most selfless character there
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
There is literally like to my mind now, I'm like, I don't think there is any more selfless character
Mm-mm.
than
Nah.
Kuma after reading that backstory.
Like years and years and years. Like his whole life has been just helping people, like helping villagers, and
Yeah,
the world government have just in general, the hierarchy, the patriarch, everything is just fucked him over
yeah.
constantly because he's just so good natured to everyone, and then like
That's why like when these elders, like these five elders, finally
mhm.
get their comeuppance, I'm gonna
Yeah.
be celebrating, man. I'm gonna be celebrating.
E- Even the fucking, what was it, the celestial dragons, which are like the fucking scum of the earth,
Yeah.
like that. That's what, and then like that's what I want to see, man. Like, because
When
obviously
this
they,
all comes to a head and like all of that regime is ousted and gone,
yeah,
or at least toppled in some way,
yeah,
shape, or form, I'm gonna be celebrating.
you want that, like, there's so much there, like like you just want these fuckers to go, man.
Yeah, well, because they've
Every
done
one of them.
nothing good.
Yeah.
Even in Kuma's backstory, there's a secret manhunt event,
Oh fucking hell,
and
yeah.
every character there is just so apathetic to everything. Like, oh, please, the event hasn't started yet. You're killing too early. Think about the other nobles. It's like, fuck off, dude. You're killing
Yeah.
people.
It's literally like this is one thing that like the celestial dragons ever since they were first introduced in the Shabodi archipelago, like everything about them was literally you're fucking scummy as anything, like
Yeah.
literally the worst. Like I don't think there's any character in One Piece which I've hated more than the group of people anyway of celestial
Mm.
dragons. Like I just like constantly being just absolute fucking scumbags. And like again, this is why Oda writes these things. He's like he makes these people the most unlikable characters. And I hope that so like for Kuma's sake or in general sake of any character that's interacted with them, like you just want them to fucking like face the worst reality ever. Like
Oh
I
yeah,
just want them to, yeah.
I want the pain to rain down, man.
Yeah, like
Like,
there's no more characters. I'm like, this guy can go fuck himself. Everything, every one of those celestial dragons. But then, like, you got like the whole like, what was it, the Holy Knights and stuff like that.
mm,
Like, you got those. Like, obviously, we've seen one of them with Saint Figerland, I think he's called, who end up killing one of the only celestial dragon which actually redeemed himself.
yeah,
Fucking killed him, and it's like. Yeah, so you got a whole bunch of those people introduced as well. So
yeah. I honestly just done with them all, man. Just burn it all. Well, not really, because the world's sinking, so there's kind of no point burning it all. Because
it's just rising again, puts out immediately. But no, like I agree. Like I think Kuma's backstory is probably one of the best backstories ever told within One Piece. Like easily, yeah.
it was so sad, and I don't want to touch on too many more points, even though like we already gave a spoiler warning. Because I'm like, you got to go and experience it. You really got to go and experience it. Like, I don't want to rob people of the experience of that because it is honestly such a good backstory.
There's so much within that backstory, and even within Egghead Island itself, in terms of like fights as well. Like,
Mm,
there's been so many, like especially seeing like Luffy fighting Saturn and stuff like that. Where like, I mean, the fact that he's able to beat Kizaru pretty much quite easily now. Like, I feel like Gear Five Luffy can defeat Kizaru now. Like, so it's shown anyway.
yeah,
Well, at least like not I'm not saying it's the easiest thing, but like you probably could defeat
I
him. Like
mean, I feel like Gear 5 Luffy is hard though because it's that whole like, do you remember from that one like super filler when
mhm.
Arale turns up and it's like, oh, it's the power of gag manga. It's stronger than anything else. And I'm
Yeah.
like, it's kind of that.
It is,
It's
yeah.
you're putting a Looney Tune in into
Mm,
fucking like a no, a serious like shonen world. Like a Looney
yeah.
Tune can do whatever it wants, you know?
I mean, again, like there's certain drawbacks. I mean, at the same time, all the five elders seem to be somewhat like in not invincible,
No, but they've got some sort of crazy healing factor.
Yeah, exactly. Because like for some reason, like Luffy can Gear 5 Luffy can arguably if Saturn didn't have his somewhat like mad healing factor or something,
He probably
like
would
he
have
I reckon
been gone,
probably
but
would have beaten him. Yeah, but it's that regeneration, whatever that regeneration is, or whatever it
yeah,
is. Like
I
it's
don't know. I don't know. That
again more stuff we don't know as well. So
but I do the only thing I do like right now is that and it doesn't make sense to me, but I guess it whatever, because Gear 5. But like it was cool seeing Luffy use Gear 5. He doesn't have that same like issue Goku seems to have with a new power up where like with Ultra Instinct, like Goku's still struggling quite a lot.
yeah, yeah.
And like he's putting in a lot of work to try and get back there. Whereas Luffy seems to be able to just turn it on and off.
It
And
That
then
was the biggest thing in Egghead. I feel like he just managed to be like, yeah, he doesn't need to struggle with it. He's like, yeah, cool,
yeah,
Gear 5 straight
I
away
just kind
against
of
Rob
get it.
Lucci. It's like,
But then he's also
mm.
like, oh, I used up all my power, give me stuff to eat, and I'm good again. And you're just kind of like,
It's
what? What? Okay. All right.
it's the fact that he goes old man version as
Mm.
well. It's like in some ways a callback to when he did like Gear 3 for the first time.
Yeah.
Where he literally like he did it and then he turned into a little chibi Luffy. Like
Yeah.
and he needed to recharge basically. Like it's a callback to that, and yeah, it makes sense, especially since he's only really used it once when fighting Kaido,
Yeah.
again when he was fighting Lucci, and then again when he's fighting
And now he's
the
just like, I get
Kizu.
it.
Yeah.
I know how to do
Yeah.
it. Apparently. But like it was also cool when Bonnie had some sort of
Yes.
facsimile of it.
Yeah. She used it like for one hit and then was KO'd. Not KO'd, but like kind of like
I,
it
I
took a lot out of her.
I don't know if that's in the official. Let's say I didn't read from the official source, um, but like the line where she was like, "Oh man, freedom takes up too much energy. Freedom costs too much energy," and I laughed really hard and like maybe it's the old man cynical brain, but I just sort of sat there like mood. Freedom
Yeah,
is too much
relate.
energy. Freedom does cost too much energy. I am tired.
Can't have freedom without a price, let's put it that way. But like I think that's a whole thing as well. I think some people got like really like aggy about the whole Bonnie being able to go Gear 5, but it's within her power and it's not like she can just use it the same way Luffy does.
Yeah.
And again, this is one thing as well that I always get like weirdly like put off by One Piece fans. Like sometimes, I mean, any fan base is like this. It's a bit harsh to say it's just One Piece fans, but when a fan base gets so triggered by something that's in the story, and it's like, well, it's written this way. What like you can criticize it all for what it's done, but like you can't be like, oh, the series is shit because of it. It's like, well, just fucking do this. The story is coherent, doesn't take anything away from it, and it all adds up. Why are you getting so aggy about it? Like,
I mean,
I just don't get fan bases sometimes, man.
I don't know. Maybe it's one of those where I can go back into like kid brain or something. But I was just like, oh, cool.
It's cool, is it? Yeah, like, this is one thing. It's like it's a person able to use Luffy's powers
What?
in it, and like
What?
not and she ain't copying them completely. She's not
No.
like you.
But
It's just a
also like
thing.
narratively, I was like, when you think about it, it's also cool because she's been looking for Nika for so long.
Mm,
Now she can kind of be Nika at the same time. I'm like, isn't that
yeah,
kind of cool though? Like a
it's
nice little
especially with
full
the callback
circle.
with everything that's happened with her and Kuma as well, where like
Yeah, like
Kuma's always been like a
her whole
like following
adventure
Nika.
has been I'm setting sail to find my dad and to find Nika. And now she's kind of Nika or can
Yeah,
kind of be
it's just-
Nika. Something that she's looked for and looked up to forever because of her dad. Again, I just thought it was a nice little full circle moment.
yeah.
I didn't see it as like a oh man what? I can't believe it. Oh my god.
Exactly. Like you said, it is a full circle moment, and it's nice. like if anyone's gonna do it, you want someone that's like the closest to Nika's powers, or like a believer in Nika as well,
Yeah.
which has been passed down from Kuma, who is arguably one of the best characters in One Piece right now. Like,
I mean, it would
and
be
it's
cooler if it was Kuma, but like he
yeah,
can't do
that'd be so
it.
fucking yeah, would be so fucking weird. But like yeah, it's and like what I love as well is that like when the supernovas were introduced way back then, Bonnie was one of them, and I thought nothing of Bonnie. It was like, oh, she's one of the 11,
Mm,
same as like any of the other random ones. But Bonnie has gone from like such a meh character, which I didn't care about at all, to actually holy shit, this character's got like such a good backstory with Kuma. Again, a strong character, and is like probably one like out of the 11 supernovas or whatever, is probably one of those best out of that group.
mm,
Like right now, like Law's backstory, traumatic. Love Law as a
mm.
character. Kid is just fucking unlucky.
Yeah.
um, but Bonnie's up there in terms of those in that group of characters now, easily. Like it's gone from such a like don't care character to like okay, cool, this character is top tier.
Also, to find out how she got her powers was pretty cool.
Remind me about that because I can't remember how she
So
actually
she
got the power.
didn't.
Because
She was experimented on, and
yeah, yeah.
they were injecting her with extracts from the age fruit.
Oh,
She didn't
okay.
actually consume the fruit. She was just injected with it, and then she ended up gaining the powers of it.
Right, yeah. Because I was racking my brains because again, it's been so long since I read it. I knew most of the major story points, and I was like, shit, when did she actually eat it? And it's like, yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's an interesting way of doing it.
Well,
That's
because it's
really,
another way of like expanding, like, because you can eat the devil fruit. There's the smile fruits,
mhm.
the fake ones.
Somehow, whichever way Blackbeard takes his devil fruits.
Yeah. However,
Which
Blackbeard
is
does it, and now also like, oh, you can just be. I suppose you have to be a special type of person, but like, you can also be injected with extract from the fruit and gain
yeah,
the
enough of
abilities.
it, and then, yeah, which is cool. Like this is one thing when you think like, oh yeah, there's only one way to do this, and Oda's like, yeah, here's another way. Just throws it in. It's like, yeah, there you go, check that. Man, I feel like we gush ages and ages about this,
Yeah,
but
there's so much more to talk about. It's,
yeah. I'm sure there'll be like whoever knows, like a year down the line, maybe 2 years, maybe we'll talk about this again at some point. Maybe like another One Piece update.
hey, I've
Yeah,
got
but
lots of other manga I got to catch up on as well. So,
that's true. Yeah, bro, get fucking on that My Hero Academia thing. That's ending
oh
soon.
mate, jeez.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, is there anything else you want to say, Nathan, about One Piece? Anything?
One
before we
Piece
close
is
this episode
good.
up?
It's good stuff. It's very good.
Hey, this
I
guy's speaking facts.
I wish I kind of wish I wasn't burnt out on reading manga
Yeah.
because I'm kind of like, now that I've read what I missed, I'm like, fuck, that would have been cool to, when
Mm.
it's like, I would have been cool to like in real time discuss it with my friends like we used to,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Would
Go
you
read One
say like
Piece.
it's like one last question before we wrap this up then. Do you think you'll continue reading it, or are you still burnt out in the fact that you'll probably catch up in a few months or like a year, or like just keep on catching
I
up every now and then?
I
What do you
will
think
probably
you'll do?
catch up in bulk. I don't think I will do the weekly. I still am not 100%. Honestly, again, it's one of those. If it wasn't for the episode, I wouldn't have done it.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
would have
yeah.
still been like, oh, okay, I've got to catch up. I'll catch up one day, But like the episodes, so I have to, or we haven't got this episode.
you
So
heard it here, folks. You're gonna do yearly One Piece catch ups now. Could possibly happen. Who knows? Anyway, thank you for listening, guys. Let us know what you think about One Piece right now. Like, give us your thoughts, theories, even though I won't listen to them. And remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell button for future Culture Boys videos. Look at the links in our description. We've got our X and all our podcast platforms down there. And we'll see you guys next time for another Culture Boys episode. Bye bye.
Bye.